Hello, Days of Our Lives fans. This is for Tuesday, April the 30th. Well, Maggie tells Julie that her and Constantine are getting married. Julie just came out of isolation because of the radiation exposure. And she tells her she supports her no matter what. And Constantine comes in while they're talking. And Julie says she's got to go. And she leaves. And Constantine's like, oh, Maggie, was she trying to talk you out of it? And she's like, no, she wished me the best. And he said, I hope you told her about the prenup. And she said, yes, I did. Meanwhile, Constantine goes to visit John earlier in the day. He flips out that card, and John is his pawn. He tells him that Maggie's got a prenup in the safe, and he doesn't like it because they're getting ready to get married, and he wants him to do something about it. Then there's a knock at the door, and they both are stunned. And he tells him to open the door. Finally to open the door, and it's Marlena, and she's like, why did you have the door shut? And then she turns around, locked, and then she turns around and says, Constantine, what is he doing here? And John is disoriented and confused because he just snapped out of being the pawn. And Constantine goes on to, continue his lies, of course, and say, excuse me, Marlena, but I was just here to invite you to my wedding. I guess Maggie hasn't told you yet. And so then after he leaves, John is telling Marlena, every time I talk to him after he leaves, I'm confused. Something's not right. And Marlena says, we're going to get to the bottom. Marlena goes to the pub where she sees Everette. So she says, can I sit down a minute? And he said, actually, I'm real busy. I'm getting ready to go. She's like, I wanted to ask you, did you reconsider hypnosis with me? And he said, no. And he said, as a matter of fact, I don't think I need anything else. I just need to move forward. And she said, well, I'm just wondering why you lied to Stephanie. And, okay, so then Stephanie later shows up at the Spectator, and she's really standoffish with Everette. Good thing he's busy fantasizing about Bobby Stein. It's like Psycho, right? So Stephanie's asking him about his behavior the other day with Jada and different things, and she said he ended up telling her that he had quit therapy, that Marlena told him he just needs to move forward. He don't need to keep digging all that stuff up. And so she doesn't see any reason to waste his time or her time. And she's just looking at him like, that doesn't make any sense. And she's like, but you were making progress. So I think she gets a little fed up with this conversation. Good for her. Chad comes in, and they make plans for her to come over and hang out with the kids Saturday. Everette pays close attention to this. Well, Chad earlier in the day had went to visit with Paulina because of all the rumors about how she abused her power to go rescue Chanele. And he tells her he just wants the truth. He wants her side of it before he goes and talks to anybody else. And she's like, did your DA brother send you to do this to me? I think he's doing it to me. He's trying to set me up. And he said it has nothing to do with EJ. It's about, did you abuse your power when you went to the island, got on a bulldozer, and exposed everybody to radiation? She said, well, why don't you ask Chanele and everybody else? Everybody's fine. So he went to ask Julie, who just got out of 6 days of isolation, and she's like, no, she was not okay with it. She thinks she was irresponsible. She had a duty to the people of Salem, and she's not accepting of it at all. She thinks it was just bad mailing. So Stephanie earlier had run into Chanele, who was running late to open the bakery. She said, don't worry. So she ran to open the bakery for her. And Stephanie told Johnny here about Wendy and Tripp moving. And he's all mesmerized. Like now he's all in love with Wendy again. He's all spaced out. And Chanel's trying to talk to him. He's like, huh? It was just stupid. It was a stupid scene, and it was a stupid move. So they're talking to Stephanie for a few minutes. They get her pastries, tell her to help herself. And then Paulina comes up, and she's wanting to talk to Johnny about, can he talk to EJ about getting off her back about him going to rescue her. He's like, everybody's okay. And then Chanele got feeling sick, holding her head, and went and threw up. And Johnny said, those are signs of radiation. And everybody got real panicky, and they decided they are going to take Chanele on to the hospital. And that's a wrap for Tuesday, April the 30th.